Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Starting in the name of Allah. Question: what is meant by specific performance of contract? In which situation will the court allow or refuse to pass a decree for a specific performance of contract? So in this video I will talk first part of this question, the what is meant by specific performance of contract, and I will also talk about in which situation will the court allow to pass a decree for a specific performance of contract, but I won't talk about the refuse matter. Okay, inshallah, in another video I will talk about a refuse, in which situation the court can refuse a specific performance of contract. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the first part of this question. What is meant by specific performance of contract? Okay, specific performance of contract means to perform responsibilities according to the conditions of the contract. Okay, so once a contract is done, and if a person doesn't perform his responsibilities, then according to the law of contract, compensation can be claimed against the person for breach of contract. Okay, who will breach it, and against that person we can claim compensation. Okay. However, compensation is a kind of general relief. This relief may not ensure perfect justice. Okay, just if we get or if we claim compensation, it won't be perfect justice. For this reason, the provisions of specific performance of contract as a separate relief as against compensation has emerged. So in SR Act, we can get another provisions against Contract Act. Here we can get specific performance of the contract. Okay, so not only compensation. For example, Mr. Abrar entered into a contract with a building company that the building company would build a swimming pool in his house within 3 months. Okay, so Mr. Abrar paid some money in advance, and the building company started their work. After 3 months, some important and prestigious relatives of Mr. Abrar would come from abroad to attend a function at his home, and that's why it is necessary to build the swimming pool within the fixed period. Okay, so this situation and what then happened, now we'll see. The building company stopped working after 1 month. Okay, and they informed that they are no more interested to work any. Okay, it is a problem. They also agreed to pay compensation. However, in such a situation, Mr. Abrar will not be benefited with any amount of compensation. He will rather be benefited if the concerned building company is directed to enforce the contract especially. Okay, so in this case, if Mr. Abrar files a suit under Section 12 of Specific Relief Act 1877, he will get proper justice of the court by order compels the building company to perform its part of contract. Okay, so we have understood that how is important the provision of SR Act. That means specific performance of contract. Just if we take compensation, it won't be actually perfect justice. For the reason this type of provision has been included in SR Act. Okay, now we'll talk about next part of this question. When a specific performance of contract shall be enforced. Okay, a specific performance of contract is not possible in all cases of breach of contract. Section 12 of Specific Relief Act lays down that the specific performance of contract is applicable in the following circumstances. Okay, we can get only 4 circumstances. in this situation, we will get a specific performance of contract. Okay. Firstly, act, part of trust. When the act, which is agreed, when the act agreed to be done is in the performance, wholly or partly, of a trust. So the contract is wholly or partly of a trust. Okay. The time we can get a specific performance of contract by court. Okay, illustration. For understanding, we will read this illustration. Hafiz trustfully kept some goods to Twin. Twin has sold it to other person. Hafiz trustfully kept it, but Twin has sold it. Okay, he has broken trust actually. In this case, court can pass an order specifically against Twin to give back the sold goods to Hafiz because the act of this contract is related with trust. Okay, for the reason we can get a specific performance of contract by order of the court. Okay, next condition. No standard for the ascertaining the actual damage. Okay, when there exists no standard for ascertaining the actual damage. Which damage? Which is caused by non-performance of the act. Which act? Which is agreed to be done. Okay, so in this situation we can get a specific performance by order of the court. Okay. For understanding this condition, now we'll see illustration. A agrees to buy and B agrees to sell. Okay, fine. Picture by a dead painter. So picture is made by a dead painter. The painter is died. Okay, and two rare china vases. So two things. One is a picture by a dead painter and two rare china vases. Okay, A agreed to buy and B agreed to sell. Okay, it is a situation. A may compel B specifically to perform this contract, for there is no standard for ascertaining the actual damage which would be caused by its non-performance. So if B doesn't give or doesn't sell this picture which is painted by dead painter and to rare china vase, the time if B gives compensation, the time actually it won't be perfect justice. For the reason it can get order by court specific performance of contract. Okay, and third situation, here are the no adequate relief. When the act agreed to be done is such that the pecuniary compensation for its non-performance would not afford adequate relief. So in the case of adequate, there is no adequate relief, that time we can get an order by court for a specific performance of the contract. Okay, so it is a third condition for a specific performance of contract. When the act agreed to be done is such that pecuniary compensation for its non-performance would not afford adequate relief. Okay, now we will see an illustration. A contract with B to sell him a house for Taka 1,000. B is entitled to a decree directing A to convey the house to him, he paying the purchase money. Okay, in this case B can compels B to sell that house. Okay, but if B says that I will give compensation, the time actually it won't be proper justice. Okay, last of all, last condition, no pecuniary compensation. Okay, when it is probable that the pecuniary compensation cannot be got for the non-performance of the act agreed to be done. Okay, we'll be clear after watching a station. Transfers without endorsement, but for valuable consideration, a promissory note. So transfers a promissory note without endorsement, but for valuable consideration to be. Okay. A becomes insolvent. So here a problem is A becomes insolvent and C is appointed his assignee. Okay. B may compel C to endorse the note, for C has succeeded to A's liabilities, and a decree for pecuniary compensation for not endorsing the note would be fruitless. Okay, so this type of decree would be fruitless. So here A have to do an endorsement. Okay, in this case, that means that under section 12, if we want for a specific performance of contract, so what is the time period? Now we will discuss about the matter and the period of limitation. According to Article 113 of Limitation Act 1908, a suit can be filed within 1 year under section 12 of the SR Act 1887. The prescribed period of limitation for a suit of specific performance is 1 year from the date fixed for performance. Okay. Or if no such date is fixed, when the plaintiff has noticed that the performance has been refused. Okay, so we can get here the first period is 1 year. But if there is no time period in this contract, the time period will be when the plaintiff has noticed that the performance has been refused. Okay, from that time he will get 1 year. Okay, court fees for that suit. Court fees is plaintiff must give ad valorem court fees. Okay, so that's all about discussion of section 12 for a specific performance of the contract. Thank you for watching this video.